following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
Hello.
Hey, Jack. It is New York Yankee baseball time, past, present, and future. And we're about a week into it. What do you think of the season so far?
Well, I'm very happy. You know, the big three came through yesterday. Didi is a heck of a player, which surprises nobody. And the pitching has been fairly well, the starting pitching. So I'm nothing but happy.
Nothing. Anything that scares you? Besides center field, is that a little bit of a question mark? What with Hicks and his injuries? Do you think that it's just a string of bad luck with him? Or is he just one of those guys that are brittle, that keeps getting hurt?
You know, only time will tell. It's scary, you know, when guys consistently get hurt. You know, like Hicks has had that problem. Ellsbury's going through this, and Bird. So that's the thing you can never tell is when injuries kick in. That's something, you know, you have no control over. And, you know, Frazier got some good news today. I think he's going to start playing some games. So that's one good thing.
Well, do you think they're going to miss Todd Frazier? I'm a Met fan, as you know, first and foremost. I am so delighted to have him in the clubhouse, and I will ask you how it was that the Yankees could not make it work to get him to continue to play third base.
Well, I think the Yankees' thoughts were he was like an afterthought. They were going to go after some other guys. I think they were after Drury for a long time. And I think if they couldn't get him just before spring training like the Mets did, they would have signed Frazier. But I like Frazier with the Yankees, and I think the Mets did a good thing. They really helped their team with him in the lineup.
Yeah, they did, and they've had a string of healthiness that isn't like the Mets. You know, just the last few years we've had disaster. And here's the reason I'm even bringing it up. I think you'll agree with me that when both New York teams are doing well, it works well for both teams. Baseball, it's like having a rivalry when one is you remember the old thing with the old Red Sox and the Yankees rivalry. One was the hammer and one was the nail. It's not really that great a rivalry from that standpoint. But when they're both doing well, it's nice and it's good for baseball.
Well, I remember like in the mid-'80s, like 85 through like 86, 87, both teams were good. So, you know, you had the rivalry going back and forth because the Mets had an excellent team and the Yankees had an excellent team. The only thing that hurt those clubs, you didn't have the wild card then.
Right. Now, you're a Floridian, am I correct?
Well, I'll always be from New Jersey. I live down here now, but I always consider myself, I'll be from up north.
Okay, the reason I ask, I want your impression, we just got through with one, of spring training and how it's changed over the years from a fan standpoint.
Well, I'll tell you, Ralph, my first spring training down here was 2005. Okay. And it's really changed a lot because you don't have the access to the players you used to. You know, when you go down for pitchers and catchers, I mean, and even when the full squad come down, you know, you were right there. I mean, you know, you were like 2 feet from the players. You know, you could talk to them and you get great pictures and, you know, they'd sign autographs and stuff. And now it's like, you know, they practice inside. You can't really watch them. And the price of the tickets are just out of hand. It's ridiculous.
And the parking and the beer and everything is going up so incredibly high that it almost makes it a luxury vacation as opposed to just coming down and getting some sun and sitting out there and watching a little ball and seeing guys in a relaxed situation. It's not the same. I mean, do you miss those days particularly?
Yeah, I mean, the great thing was just going over and watching them practice. I mean, like when the Yankees be on the road, you'd go over there like 10 o'clock in the morning, and the guys that would stay down, stay back, didn't go on the trip. I mean, you were right there. You were right on the field watching them and stuff like that. And you could interact with them, and there was just like an innocence to it.
Right.
The way baseball used to be and stuff like that, And so it was so much different than the regular season where, if you went to the Yankee Stadium, you were way so high and you couldn't stand there and you couldn't go here and stuff. So spring training was like, you grew up with the game that you loved because you felt like a part of it.
When you were living in New Jersey, did you come down to Florida for spring training?
No.
Okay, so your first experience with it was when you moved. What part of Jersey were you from? Sounds like you were closer to Philadelphia than New York, just by your accent.
No, I was like 50 miles from New York, from Yankee Stadium.
Oh, okay.
I lived in a little town called Netcon, and it was a town everybody lived there forever.
All right. How did you escape?
Well, after my grandmother died, I said I got to get out of here because I got tired of some things, and I said I want to go down where I can watch baseball, I can play sports year round, and that's what I did.
How old were you when you left?
48.
Okay, that takes some guts.
Well, you take chances in life, and sometimes they work out, and sometimes they don't. But whatever happens, you just keep pushing on. That's all you can do.
All right. Well, let me tell you what I appreciate besides your updates and your great commentary. I appreciate the pictures that you put up on your Facebook. So if there's anybody out there that wants some great Yankee pictures that you've documented, go to Jack Degraw's Facebook, and if you're a Yankee fan, you've got to love this guy. Now, I want from you, Jack, what's your favorite Yankee site on Facebook that you like to meet your fellow fans on?
Well, it's the Yankee Bombers.
Okay.
And there's another one, Yankee Worldwide and stuff, because, it's from all over the world. And it's, it's very gratifying. Like when I post pictures and stuff, I'll hear from somebody from like Tanzania or South America or Venezuela. It just like, I find it's amazing to me.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this. You are a true fan and you have passion. One of the reasons I chose you to be a contributor on this show, you can't fake passion, and it's in your voice all the way. Who is the one player that you met, or coach, or manager, or baseball executive, or even someone outside of baseball, who you were just so awed by that you couldn't even, as articulate as you are, as quick a thinker as you are, you couldn't come up with anything to say?
Well, I think, I was a member of a health club down here, and I was shooting baskets the one day, and Tino Martinez come over to me. And Tino, was complimenting me on, the way I shoot a basketball. And I just remember saying to him, Tino, thanks for all the great memories over the years and stuff, and I remember how modest he was. He put his head down and says, they were great years. I'm very lucky. And I met him a few other times, and he was always very humble. And the thing is, he went out of his way to make me feel good. And when I was around my friends, he complimented me. And that is something I appreciate, because with all he achieved, he was very giving. And that's why a lot of these guys are successful. They don't think about themselves. They think about other people.
Wow. Nice words. Hey, thank you, Jack. This is terrific. I will, if I may, feel free to check in with you for Yankee updates on a weekly basis.
Anytime you want, Ralph.
You're terrific, Jack. And we'll be back next week. This is Robert Deininger gave me a little Yankee update that I'm going to attach to this interview, and we'll have a podcast for the week, a Yankee podcast. So look for it. If you would, I will send you a link, and you can forward it all around, put it on your sites, and spread the word. Yankee baseball, past, present, and future. Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. I have the real privilege of talking to a fan with passion. He's Jack Degraw, and I'm Ralph Tyko, the weak link of it all. I'll be back next week with another great show. Adios, everybody.
Thank you, Ralph.
My pleasure, Jack.
Hello?
We are back. Robert Deininger, New York Yankees, past, present, and future. I'm Ralph Tyko with the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. And good to have you, Robert.
It's nice to be here, Ralph.
Well, we're in the middle of a Yankee game on a Wednesday afternoon where we are seeing true Yankee power and pitching mastery. They're putting it together today. So this game may be indicative of what's to come. I don't see them with much of a weakness. Do you?
No, I mean, that lineup, you really got to be on your A game. Snell today, he tried his best to paint the corners and nibble around the plate, and it's just a battle, every hitter. And as you see today, Judge, Stanton, and Sanchez each have a two-run homer.
And you get to see what great defense does, too. They are so strong up the middle. D.D., his hitting the other day notwithstanding, he's an early candidate for Yankee MVP that doesn't have a Judge or a Sanchez name or a Stanton name. Just a ball player who's playing what used to be over his head, and now he's doing it on a regular basis, and this guy's terrific.
Yeah, you're going to have to start, talking about him as, one of the top shortstops in the league. Last year he hit 27 home runs, drove in 87 RBIs, and he missed the whole month of April. David Cohn said the other day, we haven't seen his ceiling yet, so we might be in for a big year from Didi.
He's doing something defensively that Jeter didn't have the physical talents to do, and that's handle a double play while he's in the air, and both legs off the ground. He's got a strong enough arm to get the ball over there with some zip on it, and that's not only an acrobatic play, but it's one of those plays that's almost a game saver right there. It turns the difference. Hey, we're going to take a pause for a second. I'm going to put this on hold, and we'll take 5, and I'll get back to you, Robert.
Okay.
All right. Hold on.
Okay.
Back with Robert. How are you, sir?
Okay, good. We got cut off there.
Yeah, we lived through the break. And I want to ask you this. What worries you about this 2018 Yankee team and their prognosis for the rest of the season?
I was just sitting here a little while ago thinking there's a lot of expectations on this team this year, and I hope it doesn't, get to some of the players. But if anything, it's the pitching that worries me a little.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't see too many concerns. They're so deep at all the positions that I think they're pretty set there.
What about center field?
Yeah, well, Hicks should be returning soon. Ellsbury got shut down again with a different injury to his hip, which doesn't bode well for him. Right. But I think once Hicks comes back, hopefully he can stay healthy and solidify that position.
Doesn't bode well for him, and it doesn't bode well for the team's chances of moving him,
no.
Which was slim and none to begin with.
Yeah.
But hoping to get something, hoping not to need him. They may end up, if Hicks proves to be terminally injury prone, they're going to have to look for either a stopgap in Ellsbury, or maybe making a deal. What do you think to that? Or are Hicks's injuries unrelated to each other? Is he just in bad luck?
Yeah, it seems like he's just one of those guys that, at least up to this point, just seems to always have some kind of nagging injury that pops up throughout the year, a few times throughout the year. Hopefully, it's just coincidence and it's something we can get past. But they have some. Gardner can always play center, which you don't want. You rather him in left because he does do a great job in left field for New York.
Right.
But you hope Hicks can stay healthy and Ellsbury can contribute at some point throughout the year. But it doesn't look likely that they're going to be able to move him if he can't play.
Hey, Robert, you gotta love Judge's manner, the way he encourages his teammates, the way.
Oh, yeah.
He is the least likely guy, personality-wise, to be a superstar. He's just one of the guys. He reminds me of Mantle in that sense, that all Mantle ever wanted to be known as is a great teammate. And
we talked about this last year. He doesn't like the praise. He rather give it upon his teammates. It's all about the guys who helped him. It's all about what they did today, not him.
Yeah, when I watch him in the dugout, he's like Altuve, that giant Altuve, with his enthusiasm and making sure that each teammate, whatever they do, even if it's just enough and it's a big thing, underrated, get the runner over, that kind of thing. He's always giving them a high five. He's always patting them on the ass. God, you got to love that.
You really do, and I think he kind of does have a perfect personality for New York. He's just so laid back and about the team that you can't help but be enamored by him.
They look like they're having fun.
Yeah.
Okay. What's with Boone? Was there a gaffe at the first few games? I missed that, and
I think there was a game. Austin hit 2 home runs, and the next day Toronto had a righty on the mound, and he went with Walker over Austin because he said he liked Walker in the field, considering Sonny Gray pitches to a lot of ground balls. But Austin's also a first baseman. So, I think he liked a left-handed batter against the right-handed pitcher. And if that's the case, just say it. But to say that he liked Walker's defense over Austin's, especially after the kind of day Austin had the day before. And I'm a little confused. Like yesterday's.
Is he just in love with the analytic part of it? And
yeah, because it seems like it's not just a tool, but the Bible. Like it's he's gonna go by the numbers regardless. I mean, yesterday, the Yankees pitcher, his name's slipping my mind. Jordan Montgomery. He threw 80 pitches, 48 for strikes, but yet he didn't bring him back out for the sixth inning. And the Yankee starters, the first 5 starters, only gave up 1 earned run, which is the first time it's ever happened in the live ball era. And Sonny Gray, he only pitched 4 innings. He took him out, after the start of the 5th, and he pulled Montgomery after 5 yesterday. It just seems like he's gonna go by whatever the numbers tell him he should do. At least that's how it looks so far. I don't want to be too critical because it's the beginning of the year and he could just want to keep their pitch count down.
So there's a pretty good possibility then if a guy's just going to go by the numbers, you don't need a field manager in the sense that communicates with the players, that finds out what's in the player's head, that judges day by day how they're prepared. If you're just going to go by the numbers, why don't you say the truth? Cashman is the manager.
Yeah. And going by the numbers, it might work over a course of a season, but in those, 5-game, 7-game series, it could cost you a game. And one game in a playoff series, it could be the death of you.
Right.
So, it's just a little strange because you don't want to see your bullpen trying to get 12 to 15 outs a game if you're going to pull your starting pitcher after 4 or 5 innings, especially if their pitch count's not that high.
Well, it's the vogue now to have a pitcher pitch no more than 2 times through a lineup, because by the numbers, you're going to find that pitchers are so much less effective from the 6th inning on. Yeah. However, if you're bringing in a strained bullpen, you're apt to get even less effective numbers from a guy who, in the first place, didn't make the starting rotation, so he's in the bullpen. And in the second place, you're putting a strain on said bullpen night after night that they'll be less effective than they would in any case. So, you know what? It's not just the Yankees dealing with this. This is all through baseball. Yes.
Yeah. And Sonny Gray, he had 8 strikeouts. He got himself into a little trouble, it seemed like almost every inning, but he pitched himself out of it. And that's why I was a little disappointed not to, Boone to let him try to work out of it again in the 5th.
Well, maybe he's establishing his way or again, maybe, here's this, it's cold, and maybe these starters, it's the first week of the season, in essence.
Yeah.
So maybe he's cutting them some slack from overworking them and,
Hey, I'm hoping that's the case.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want to see a manager screw up a good thing.
No.
And what with going into the season, the Yankee bullpen being one of their real strengths, if not the starters in doubt, now that you've turned it around and you're getting good innings from the starters, at least the next time through, they have to make sure you need to extend those guys a little bit. 6, 7 innings, instead of 4 and 5, the numbers that have been going on. So let's hope for the best there. I will also say the way things are in baseball today, probably always were, but we hear about it more. Let's hope that health determines this, not not another year of, it could have been great if this guy didn't get hurt or that thing didn't happen, and I wonder what it would have been if that guy had been in the lineup. And all that stuff.
Yeah. That's like I said, there's so much expectation put on this team this year that I hope all goes well.
Yes.
It would be a huge disappointment if it didn't.
Yes. Thank you, Robert. I love your input, and thank you for being a co-host on New York Yankee Baseball, Past, Present, Future, Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. I'm Ralph Tyko, the weak link of it all, and we'll be back when we're back. Adios, everybody.
Good day.
Thanks, Robert.
Thanks, Ralph.